What is up, everybody? I am RenaMarq, your modern Renaissance content creator, your friendly neighborhood content creator, and welcome back to another episode of Per-Sception. We are still in season 3, and this episode, I have one of the greatest, you can say, teachers in this industry, TheeEricV. He literally is one of the GOATs. I met him, had the honor to meet him at TwitchCon. This past TwitchCon was that 2022's when it came back. Solid person, solid dude. I was definitely a fan of your channel, and both your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel, both your streams and your stream school channel. And it was an honor to meet you. And I knew definitely I wanted to kind of talk with you on here and just get a bigger perception on you, and just to kind of kick the shit a little bit. And to be honest, because you're definitely a big inspiration. Shit, you helped me pick some vital choices on some devices to get, and really helped me out in fixing some of the things that I was doing wrong in stream. So I appreciate that. And that's just to of course give some flowers to you as well. But I'll let you give the bigger introduction, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate it. It's always an honor. Thank you for the invite here to Per-Sception. I'm glad to be here. My name is TheeEricV. I am a YouTuber, Twitch streamer. I hesitate to call myself a TikToker because I just use clips from my streams to repurpose. I'm a TikTok recycler. You know what I mean? And again, Atlanta-based. I do it all, variety streamer. The YouTube channel is all about the tutorials when it comes to, tutorials as well as opinion pieces, as well as interviews myself. And I want to get more into interviewing. So I feel like it's good to be the interviewee to pick up on stuff. So I learn from that as well. So again, man, glad to be here. Appreciate you.
Hey, Let's chop it up. All right. First question. First question is usually, you start off with one of the cliche joints. Mm-hmm. How did you get into, I would actually like to know, how did you get into streaming first? And then I definitely would like to know, what made you feel comfortable to do tutorials and teach people okay, this is what I know. Let me bring it out to the world.
Sure. With streaming, I used to watch this guy on Blog TV. This is back in 2009.
I remember we showing our age.
Yeah, we showing our age. And I was like, yo, this is because he just, he just talking to his fans or whatever. He was a YouTuber. His name was Ace of the Comic. And he was just chopping it up, talking to the people. And I'm like, oh, that looks fun. And I came up with my YouTube channel a little bit later. At the time, it was just hip hop and video games. And I would use Blog TV to supplement that content, which is the tip that you always hear people say today. And that's something that I've always done. Right. So it was just something that I felt like I enjoyed the constant interaction, the constant feedback. And whenever I post a TikTok, post a YouTube video, I'm always checking comments. What do people have to say about what I did? But when you make YouTube content, especially, and you spend 8-9 hours on it, there's no guarantee that people might engage with that at all. But with Twitch and just live streaming in general, you're getting constant feedback about people saying everything about exactly what they're thinking in that moment. And you're able to connect with them on a more organic level. So streaming has always been my love. I've always enjoyed YouTube. Not always. I've enjoyed YouTube, but my love has always been with the live streaming content. When it comes to tutorials and being the stream teach, I went to school to be a teacher, and I didn't think about this too much, but I was told that you should go to school to be a teacher. And I was never really, I wasn't really motivated or driven to go to college. So I dropped out. But I went to be a teacher. And it was also oh, you're a black man. So, they're going to give you the grant or whatever it was called. Call me mister. It was oh, they give you the grant to go to school, blah, blah, blah. And I guess it just kind of came back full circle when the pandemic started. I'm doing my live streams like I normally do. And every other Wednesday, I would do my just chatting streams, and they would be talent shows where people would like send me content and I would react to it. We
So,
watch reality TV, which we still do. I do try not to laugh challenges. I've driven
so
around Atlanta for a just chatting stream. And one day I was like, let me do a streamer school stream since there's a lot of people trying to get into streaming. And this was in April. So the pandemic just got us at home in March.
yeah,
And I was like, I'm going to just, tell people what I do and what I like more so from the perspective or from the perception as a viewer. And it's like, it's certain things that are still like, the hot takes. The main hot take is being the starting soon screen. But it was just like, I'm not telling you because I know better. I'm telling you because I'm a viewer. And this is how
right.
I behave as a viewer. So that's how I try to stream as a streamer. I try to cater to that. But I have a history in tech support. So I'm able to break things down super simply to somebody. And my mom, shout out to my mom, she'll never hear this because she's very technologically illiterate. But that technological illiteracy led me to become a better teacher because I'm just like, all right, turn off your Wi-Fi. What's the Wi-Fi? What is that? And I'm just like, all right, you on an Android, right? So, pull out my phone, pull your finger down from the top. Do you see 3 lines, like really breaking it down, like down, down? So I'm like, if I can't teach you how to do it, you ain't gonna learn how to do it.
That's a
Like,
fact.
and that's my attitude. And that's what I try to like, I try to balance teaching very thorough without being condescending because there's a fine line between it.
Ooh, coming
And I
off
try to
preachy is nasty.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
it's nasty work. And I try to
nasty
sprinkle
work.
in, a little bit of my personality or a little bit of comedy if the video calls for that,
Right.
or if there's a moment that comes to it. I don't like write any jokes down, but typically I'll say something and I'm like, oh, I could make this work in editing or like right
Right.
now with something like that. But yeah, that's how the teaching stuff started. And that's been super rewarding because streaming is like my favorite thing to do, like in life, probably.
That's a
And
fact.
to be able to make it easier for people to come into it because it's not super hard. There's a lot of components to it, and you wear a lot of hats. But
Ooh.
luckily, I'm experienced enough to wear all those hats or wear enough of those hats. Graphic design, I can still do a little better, but I can wear enough of those
That's
hats
fact.
that I can do it competently.
Okay, I feel that. It's funny that you. I'm gonna piggyback on a couple of things. It's funny that you say. I think like people our age, we always have the uh, technological illiterate parent,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny because I noticed a thing where like the more illiterate you are with technology, the more you have an Android for some reason, and it's like just pick
Yeah,
the simple iPhone, please.
yeah.
Like you don't need to root your phone. You don't need
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how to turn off background apps. Just get the iPhone.
And I have an Android myself.
Yeah.
My main Android thing I will champion for is like mobile gaming. Like I can just
Oh,
have
that's a
like
fact.
emulators on my joint.
That's a fact.
But other than like for my mom, I'm like,
Get
you
the
need an
iPhone.
iPhone. You need an iPhone.
Please get the iPhone.
And she's like, oh, I like my straight talk. And she asking me about minutes. And I'm like, man, who are you talking about? Minutes? Like the only minutes I know is after a meeting. Like, please don't.
right, right. And it's like, I promise you, like, oh my, because I got like an aunt who's just as much who has an Android, and it's
Mhm.
like, I promise you, WhatsApp is on the iPhone. You can get
Yes.
it. I promise
Yes.
you, if that's the only thing you care about, like, I promise you, you get that shit. But fucking, it's interesting to hear like the switch of your path and also how it comes in full circle from okay like hearing people say yo you should be a teacher and kind of taking it on to yourself. Did you always feel like okay teaching is even before you went to college like when people were telling
Mhm.
you and like how it
Mhm.
came back full circle where it's like like did you have any other prospects of where you thought your career would even want to be without people giving you like the seeds of being a teacher that was able to come full circle for you?
The answer is no. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do
that.
at that big age. As people would say, it's just like I remember as a kid, I used to say, "Oh, I want to be a photographer. I want to be a fireman." Was something I wanted to be. I want to be. There was something else. Oh, like a video game, developer or something like that. And then you realize how complex that really
Ooh,
is.
yeah.
And it was like, oh, you got to know math to do that? Like, nah.
Let me just play 'em. Like,
Yeah. So honestly, I was aimless at the time that I went to college. And sometimes I wonder, like, what do I like as far as like a conventional job? You know how people say
Mhm.
I don't dream of labor. Like, I
That's
don't
a
even know
fact.
what conventional job I would really like really, really want to do. If I could make streaming work, I think that's the closest to something I could do that I love. But at the time, man, I was about to go to the Marines, and then my parents were
Mm.
like, they were like, nah. My brother, he's in the Navy. He's like, nah. They were telling me you ain't built like that, and that made me want to go more a little bit because they was on the
Don't
phone like, yeah,
don't
we
test
got
my
games.
gangster, fam. Like, who you
Right. I'm
talking
like, you
to?
testing my gangster.
Like,
They was on the phone like, we got games. I was like, because it's like I didn't need to like make decisions at that point. It's just like, all
right.
right, they're gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna do the push-ups, I'm gonna do the jogging, it's gonna be hard, but whatever. But ultimately, I am glad I went to college, not so much for the educational stuff, unfortunately, but like the social, cultural stuff that I learned from going because I'm
Mm,
from a very small town where people are, I mean, I don't want to shit on it too much, but people can be small-minded
that's
too.
a
You know what I
fact.
mean? That's all they know. So it made me a more well-rounded person to go to college for that time being. But I wasn't there for me. I was there for them. And that's why I wasn't there long.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's actually really good because even with me, I went to kid you not, I went to colleges 4 times,
Damn.
4 different fields of study, and
Yeah.
I my first one because I took these because my grandmother was a teacher, and when your grandmother's a teacher, it's like you got to go to this summer program for these
Yeah.
credits and this that and the third, and it's like you, it's like I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
y'all tell me to do, I ain't got the will to say no, so it is
Right.
what it is. So the first thing I went into was philosophy. I'm a big philosophy like that's a big passion of mine, and a lot of people say that's just a degree to debate.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
debate about it.
let's debate about it. Like, and it's like, and it's crazy because it's like I wanted to do so much. Like, I was definitely the kid of like, oh my god, I could do this, but I kind of want to do this, but also this.
Mhm.
Like, I wanted to be a chemist. I don't know
Wow.
shit about math. I suck at math.
Right.
I would have
Same.
blown myself up in half the world. I would have started the Last of Us epidemic. It would have been nasty. I did want to be like an investigative journalist.
Okay.
And like so, but like when us growing up, and I always say this, like, and it's gonna circle me back to a question, but us growing up, because we saw the boom of technology,
Mhm.
we saw so many doors open.
For real.
Like, and it was incredible because like at that time, then it was like, oh, I could do this with film, and I could do this with audio, or I could do this with whatever photography, whatever the case may be. Um, and I think that showed me like, okay, like there's so many different things that you could take into streaming. Um, and to bring it back to you, of course, like the hats that you wear, what hat do you feel like, and I mean like from what you attributed to teaching, what you attributed to learning from colleges with like, social commentary and being around, social situations and events and or your technology background, your tech support background, like all of that and everything else, like what hat do you feel keeps this passion of streaming going for you the most?
The drive to interact, the drive to engage, because I think a lot of people, what you'll see is they'll say, "Oh, you make money doing that? Oh, I need to do that," and that's like their motivation to stream. My motivation to stream is discourse. It's just to talk. The same thing
Facts.
that my motivation was for YouTube. So as long as we talking, chat's moving, chat's flowing, I'm a happy camper in more cases than not.
Nice.
But you'll notice you'll have, plenty of streamers who just don't read their chat. And it's like, I'm here to read the chat because I game by myself all the time. Like if I want the game by myself, turn all these lights off because I don't really like lights.
Right.
And
Turn
I'm gonna
this
just
camera
vibe.
off and keep it moving.
I ain't wearing no pants for me. I'm wearing the pants for y'all. The shirt is on for y'all. Like I'm here for y'all.
Oh.
So that's the main thing that like helps me out because everybody I don't want to say like special, but everybody definitely feels noticed and nobody can really say like, oh, I feel neglected when I go in Eric's chat. It's like everybody, we get and talk to, and that's the best. That's the most important hat to me because everything else can come in, pre-recorded, scripting, graphic design, whatever. You can, be the dopest at the game. And I do split streamers into either skill-based or like personality-based.
Hell yeah, I do that too.
And I call myself a personality streamer all the time because it's like this. Yeah, the skill is gonna be, but don't nobody come for that.
You're not about to
don't
get
nobody
the best
come for that.
Gameplay, but
yeah, nah. We talking about whatever. You go see the cute cat, and like I'm a human being, like human connection.
Right.
And I always say Twitch is about people more than it is about gaming.
I 100% agree, and I think what showcases what I noticed with you, even being in your streams, being a supporter of you, being in the chat, being in your streams, meeting you at TwitchCon, like what I've noticed, and even like hearing your answers, the big pattern that I'm noticing with you is the not like, I don't want to say social butterfly type deal, but what I want to say is like it looks like you do have the love to be just like in the room. Like you don't need to be the life of the party.
Yeah.
Right. But like you love like you like being in the room. And I think that's important because like streamers who like to be too much of the life of the party, they don't recognize chat because they're only focused on self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like
Absolutely.
you, to me, like if Twitch was a party,
right,
and like you walk in, I can see you being the person like to go to the kitchen, talk with the group in the kitchen for a minute, go to the living room, kick it, do a little dance. You know what I'm saying? Like kick it with the people in the living room. You know what I'm saying? Make sure the people in the backyard is doing good. Say what's up to them. And like you get to move around. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like versus somebody who is just coming in and they just stick in the dance floor and try to be, did you see what he did? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the dopest personality traits on anybody. And I definitely see that with you too, where it's like you don't take shine away from nobody, but it doesn't dim your shine at all.
Yeah.
And I think, and the question that I kind of wanted to bring in with that is with like, do you feel like at this point, being it digital, like of course, because you're not at a party, you're not seeing people face to face, do you feel there's like a mental block for you at all to attribute like actual in-person groups and situations to or versus Twitch, like seeing people in chat and things like that?
I don't think there is much of a mental block. I would say that Twitch has made me, not even Twitch, but even Blog TV back in the day, live interaction, and I've said this a lot, but it makes me, and I've heard you curse, so we can curse, right? We good on the,
you can
okay.
Curse all the fuck you want.
It makes me fuck with me so much harder because I know when I come here to stream that's what I'm giving. I'm not, going extra and hollering because that's not, if that's, the person in real life, that's cool or whatever. Most of the time I'm not hollering. I'm not, just out of character, whatever. I'm being Eric every time I get on here. That's part of why my username is my government name. It's just like you getting me.
Right.
And for somebody to fuck with who you like actually are is one of the biggest compliments you can receive. So when I move with that knowledge, I guess, I'm not worried like, oh, do they like me? Do they think I'm ugly or do they not like my clothes? It's just like,
you get what you get.
you know, I got like 40 people, 40 to 50 people every time I go live that say they fuck with me. You know what I mean? So it's just like somebody do. And you know, like more people than a whole lot of people like fuck with me. Just me being, you know, the silly, jokey, whatever. You know, I'm doing something right enough personality wise because I don't have
Mhm.
to fake it or be extra or just like, you know, because it's not like, and again, no shot to anybody who is this way,
Word.
but it's not like an alter ego. It's not a character. It's just Eric, and people fuck with it. So that has made me more social. It made me a much better public speaker. It just made me, you know,
That's
more
fair.
confident.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I fucks with that, and I think for like you, like I split the categories too, and I think for most personality streamers, because of course there's subcategories. Like in
Hmm.
personality streamers, like you said, there's people
Yeah.
who do alter egos, which is fine. Like if you wanna
Right.
like if you wanna be a Doctor Disrespect, you wanna put on a little
Yeah.
wig
Right.
and you know and be an ego, whatever. Like you could do that. Um, versus like someone like you who is, you know, just it's Eric, and that's who you are.
Hmm.
That's who they're gonna get, whether on chat, in person. And I
Right.
think that does help with like a mental with mental health too. And like coming up before you got like the 40, 50 viewers and things like that, like was that a point of like, damn, like like you know, are people really because like of course it takes time and patience
Hmm.
and a certain level of mental fortitude to be like, okay, while I'm getting the 0 viewer chats for like a
Hmm.
month, like should I do something different? Like have you ever like had those moments, or did you just want to stick it out fully?
So when it comes to strategies for me, because I'm not like super pleased with where my numbers are, I am
Mhm.
aware that it's a place where most people aren't, but at the same time, it's just like
You always want to get better.
it's been
Yeah.
stagnant, and you know you've been plateauing for a minute. So I often think about strategies. Um, I've always had like some YouTube stuff on the side, or when I came back to streaming, when I first started streaming on Twitch, I was doing the Dead and Gaming podcast. So I knew I had a little
Out the dead and
buffer
gaming, yeah.
of at least like, you know, 4 people that's gonna like keep a little convo with me. And then we build off of that, and I uh continue to improve like the gear and, you know, think about the schedule and the time that I'm live. And the point that I'm making is my strategy has never come down to affecting or changing my personality,
Mm.
because I always felt like my personality was there, but it's like maybe I'm streaming at the wrong times, maybe I'm streaming the wrong games. It's just like, um you know, think of you being at the club or whatever, and you see a girl with a real nice personality, right?
Of course. Get a
but
personality halfway through the dance floor. I feel you.
but if she don't look good, you might not even find out what her personality is.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean? Or if
That's a
she come into
fact.
the club at a different time than you, or if her friends are like crowding around her, you know, there's just
Right.
like there's other factors other than like just the personality. It's like, okay, how to dress fit, and how she smell, how, you know, it's just a whole lot of other shit. And I've never thought about, well, damn, maybe I should talk different, or I don't know, like make less dick jokes. It's just like, nah, like like the vibes is gonna be the vibes. I just gotta get people here. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I just gotta wear the right dress, or I just gotta, you know, and
Put
that's
on the
all,
right
you know,
fragrance. Make sure your shoes
exactly.
is right, you know?
All of that. And it's like if they don't find you, they're not gonna know your personality. So that's all you know, the first impression stuff I focus on a lot, because you know, you can't be again on 10 for 4 hours straight. You know, you're gonna have some downtime. So
Fact.
you know, the audio's got to be on point, the video's got to be, you know, good enough for somebody to be like, oh, what's this? And you know, for just to pique that curiosity long enough for them to find out who you are.
Okay. I like that because and you're absolutely right. Like there's so many factors of getting breaking out of any stagnation. There's so many factors of getting higher on any point. And especially on this platform.
Hmm.
Do you feel that like like how are you with um because that's I could definitely see like that's like your personality and how you build your community, right? Do you
Hmm.
feel any way of like being in other people's communities? Because that's always a big thing. Like, okay, like you tackled being yourself, you tackled being on the platform, you tackled getting yourself to any level of success that you are at right now. But of course, you know, going back to your club analogy, you're going to walk into the club and people are going to be there before
Hmm.
you, after you. You're going to walk in with people, and if you're a regular at this club, you're going to meet people who are also regulars at this club.
Yeah.
Do you make it a point to try to be a part of other communities, or are you like, I like to keep that kind of more and separate?
So it's always been my biggest weakness, the networking piece of it.
Biggest
And
thing. Yep.
that's why I've only had like 2 interviews so far, because it's like, it's real hard to coordinate things sometimes.
Yeah.
And when it comes to being in other Twitch communities, I tend to be a very, very, very passive viewer. Like I am a lurker. I am a lurker. And
Same.
I might lurk while I'm, doing work or something. But typically when I'm doing work, I'm listening to a podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, Real Mama Eagles chat is one that I've talking a lot because she talks about streaming. So I have a lot to say about streaming.
Of
So
course.
I typically have a lot to say in it. Majestic Madness is another one. She's my, personal friend now. We met via streaming.
Right.
And
How majestic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to her. And I talk in her chat a lot because she streams on Tuesday nights. And Tuesday nights is when I record my YouTube videos. So I'm up in there a lot. But typically, and I work from the same spot that I stream at. So once 5 o'clock hits, laptop is being closed. I'm going to the living room. I'm playing PlayStation or Xbox, and I'm not even trying to see computer monitors from like 12 inches away no more.
I
It's just
feel you.
like when it's time for me to stream, I'll come to it and do that. But it's it's been such a weak spot for me to just be in chats and also interact in the chats. And I know that when I speak in chats, like people, oh hey Eric, and that's always a cool feeling or whatever. But like
Right.
typically I don't be in other clubs, or I don't dance in other clubs as often as I should. But I be on Twitter and interacting there as much as I can.
Definitely. And yeah, that's that, because I think that's like everybody's. I think there's a fear with that, and I kind of want to get your opinion on that
Hmm.
too. I think there's such a fear of being like a person who is contributes to this platform
Hmm.
and goes into other communities, because like even with me, like there's a lot of communities I'm in, but there's
Hmm.
very few I participate in. I'm like you,
Right.
I'm a lurker and a half. Like
Right.
I'm like, because like I always feel like, okay, this is your community. I don't, not that like I'm like the dopest motherfucker in the world, and I'm like I'm gonna
Right.
step in your chat and people are gonna be like, oh my
Hmm.
god, like you know what I'm saying? It's Mark. We all gonna like. I'm not like I
Yeah.
never think that, but it's such a scary thing where it's like, okay, if I'm looking at like, for instance, like a okay, I use Majestic. Like if I'm in Majestic's thing, like I just want to be in Majestic's club. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I don't want to make it my club. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I got my own club. So when I go to my own club, I dance, I bartend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but like I don't even, I just want to be a patron in her club, and it's like, and same with you. Like if I'm in Eric's club, I want to be a patron in your club. I don't want to, and I may see the same people in my club and your club and Majestic club, whatever. But
Hmm.
it's such a fear. I don't want anyone to feel like he trying to take motherfuckers out of my club. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about like that as well? Especially with you going, with you having it be, your pure personality. So, like you
Hmm.
said, the way people know you from your community, from real life, they're gonna know you whether you're in RenaMarq's chat, Majestic's chat, Betty Nick's chat, whoever chat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, do you feel like that's one of the things that stop you from contributing more to other communities?
No, honestly, I think that
I love that.
most of the time I'm just lazy. Like a lot of times, one of my biggest fears is like I pop in somebody's chat and I just pop in, just say, "Oh, hey," or whatever, and then I walk to the bathroom. I'm just like, "Oh, let me go grab a sandwich," and they're talking to me, but I'm not there to respond,
That's
and
a
that's because
big
I'm a
fear of
streamer,
mine.
I guess, and I'm just like, I don't want to, I want to. I don't know. I want to be there for them. So that's a lot
Right.
of times why I don't even chat in the first place. Cause I don't want to have to like be locked to the keyboard, or I don't want to like abandon them or neglect them or whatever.
I feel that.
When it comes to, somebody thinking that, oh, they're trying to take my community, I think that that's a bit of an irrational fear because I don't
Mm,
think that most streamers in good faith think that somebody's trying to take their community, unless of course they're doing some self promo that's like irrelevant or whatever. Like
yeah.
again, if you're in Real Mama Eagles chat and she's talking about, oh, the whatever streaming topic it is, everybody's in there talking about streaming, so nothing
Right.
comes across as like, oh, this person wants
Right.
you to know that they stream. Is If it's a cool community, a lot of times people are clicking on names out of curiosity anyway, to just say, oh, this guy's funny. Let me see if they got anything on their profile or whatever.
Right.
That happens a lot. I don't think, again, most streamers, like I'll say secure streamers, I've never, I ain't gonna say never. I've rarely had the thought of somebody in my chat just to like get people over to them without them explicitly trying to self promo. And a lot of times I get that feeling that I mentioned when I know that somebody they stream, and they might, a lot of times they like, kind of big streamers, but they only say one thing. They pop in, they only say hey, and maybe they did go to make a sandwich or something like that.
Right.
But
Right.
a lot of times in my mind, I'm like, did they just say hey to get attention? But a lot of times that happens with like big streamers, especially if they don't come around often at all. They be
Right.
like, oh hey, and then they have no more input to the conversation. But a lot of times the feeling is fleeting anyway. Or when I see them come into the chat and say hey or whatever, I don't even think about they're coming to take my viewers, but they are coming for the sole purpose of networking. And I never wanted
Mm.
to come across that way either. Like, oh, I'm coming to, remind people I exist type shit. And I get that
Right.
feeling sometimes. I'm like, oh hey, like, but it's never like, fuck them. I never like
Facts.
have like a negative feeling about it. I'm just like, I know what you're doing. Something
I've
like I
been in
know.
this game too long.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're doing. I've been doing this for a minute. So honestly, most of the time now, that doesn't stop me from talking, but it'll be like, I don't want to be glued to the keyboard, especially. And I'm sorry to anybody who might be in this situation. If it's somebody who has like a completely dead chat,
Yeah,
if
I
I
gotta
say
go.
something, they're gonna hook to me. They're gonna be, oh shit. Let's talk, because I need something to say, and I get that. I know that. I know how it feels, but I don't want to be that guy
I
that's
feel
like, all
that.
right, now I gotta cancel my plans because I gotta make this streamer feel like loved. It's a real feeling.
That's a real ass feeling. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
man.
real ass feeling. Cause like, oh, that's funny as hell. Cause I mean,
But I alert.
I'm alert. Yeah, I alert, and it's like it's funny because I see. I agree with you completely, and it's funny because as a streamer, like I see both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I feel like such a hypocrite sometimes because I be like in my streams,
Mm-hmm.
like if it's a dead chat, and like I know people are lurking, because I got the
Mm-hmm.
viewer count. Like I'm not one of those people like turn off your viewer count. Like
Yeah,
I'm
me
I'm
either.
not, I'm like I see it. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm like okay, cool. I got some people in here. We chilling. Like if it's a dead
Mm-hmm.
chat, I'm just talking bullshit. I'm vibing in the game. Like if anything,
Yeah.
I'm explaining what I'm doing in the game, playing God of War. I'm like I jump up, shoot him, Atreus. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing shit like that.
Right.
But like in the back of my mind, I do like, of course, like as a streamer, I do be like, man, I wish somebody say something, you
Yeah.
know.
No, me too.
But when I'm in somebody else's job, like I ain't saying shit, and I know you wish somebody would say something, but I'm not saying a fucking word. I'm not doing it. You're not getting it out of me. Somebody else better come in this shit and say something.
It'd be like that.
It'd
It'd be
be
like
like
that.
that'd be hilarious. Fucking to, to switch to switch gears from
Mhm.
Twitch to YouTube. And we're gonna switch gears a couple of times, but to switch gears from Twitch to YouTube more to learn more about, you know, your stream school, like being a stream teacher. Like, what are some things that you are looking, because you talked about stagnation, and I wanted to ask this question. Do you feel, I know it's easy to feel stagnant on Twitch by way of viewers, right?
Mhm.
Like viewers, dead chat, whatever, right?
Right.
Follower count, however. But with YouTube, since it's not that live interaction, do you feel the stagnation more or less or about the same because you're not seeing the gratification right then and there, I guess?
It's way more. It's
Is it?
way more.
Oh shit. Okay.
For a few reasons. For one, when I had the YouTube channel that I started in 2009 and extended on to, I guess about 2015 is when I stopped making YouTube videos about video games and hip hop.
Hmm.
I was semi-successful. Like I would drop a video and it would, I get a check every month from YouTube and I don't know, let's say I don't remember the exact numbers. Let's say I drop a video, I got 7,000 subscribers at the time,
Hmm.
and it'll get like 2,000 views. At the
Ooh,
time, I'm like, oh, that's not that great, but that's
that's good. Right.
whatever.
Right.
So now, and I still use the same YouTube channel. I just repurposed it, rebranded it, whatever.
Got you.
So now I've got a total of 10,000 subscribers. And I also am much better at what I do, in my opinion, as far as audio, production, um, camera presence, whatever. I feel like I'm much better at it.
Right.
And being much better at it takes more of a time sink to get it done. So, and I still work my 9 to 5.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
record my video on Tuesday night. That recording session might take 2 hours. I use this DSLR behind me and this one in front of me to record that. I use my cell phone for B-roll. So that's
On me.
you
Right.
know, I download whatever I got to download, whatever assets, whatever music, whatever. And I would probably be up until 5 a.m. on a normal Tuesday night to work right in the morning, right? Making the thumbnails, making the titles better, description better than I ever have. And and also waking up the next day watching what I edited, because I'll try to edit to completion that first night,
Facts.
sleep on it, come back, watch it, notice like, oh, that's crazy. Why did I include that? Like cut that out. And also on YouTube, and I'm sure you go to your YouTube studio, the first thing you see, this video, 7 out of 10. The views,
Yup.
fucking 83,
Yup.
which is down from
You see that
last
red
week.
arrow down, you be
Yeah.
mad as hell. Yup.
And you just looking at it like, damn, like I used to, like damn, and in college I was the man, homie. Like I'm just looking at this shit like, damn, I used to be like rocking this shit. Now I'm much better at it, doing content that's way more evergreen as well, because the video game hip hop shit, it's very just like,
Fucking with
story of the
finite.
week. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, whatever, that this is the new game. Here's the new artist and their new song and their new album. But it's just like, all right, here's how you do shit, and this will be good for the rest of your life. Video. Like that's what I try to make now. But yeah, putting that much effort into it, it makes the stagnation hurt a lot more.
Mm.
Now, what I will say is that when it comes to Twitch, again, you're getting that instant gratification. It doesn't take you long to realize your chat's dead. You know that shit instantly.
Facts.
If a video is gonna blow up or not, you don't know. It's just like I toiled over it, I bled, I sweated, I cried over this.
Yeah.
Here it is. Good luck. But what I will say is that when it comes to companies and like sponsorships, whatever, Elgato, for instance,
Mhm.
they gonna notice the YouTube stuff. Like they see the quality more than they see like the numbers, or they might see my
Yeah,
content. And I'm thinking for them. They might see
of
the
course.
content and be like, this is somebody that, has the chops to be able to, have our product and talk about it. And maybe he's not, where he should be today, but we can see the production quality and the value in this person.
That's
And
true.
when it comes to Twitch, again, because everything is this, and
Right.
when I say this, I'm talking about you and your mood while you're streaming, and
That's a
whatever
fact.
somebody might get the first impression of. With YouTube, you get to cultivate that. With YouTube, you be able to show them exactly what you want them to see
That's
at every
true.
single moment. So there's
Damn,
definitely
that's true. Yeah.
there's value in the YouTube content outside of what I can see in the moment a lot of times, and I try to remind myself of that. It's just like, yeah, people notice you. Like, even though 200 is nothing on a YouTube video, but that's still 200 people who probably
Sat
know
and
you
watched.
around and shit. They know that name, and it's helping them out, and that's a big deal.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Do you do you feel that do you feel that this because I want to piggyback on, you're making evergreen content now,
Hmm.
right? Does that what bleeds more into each other? Does like your YouTube and like how you manufacture like content and teach people how to manufacture, does that bleed more into your Twitch, or is it like, I've been using this on Twitch for about a minute. I think I can make a video about this on YouTube. Like, do you like buy a product? Like, let's say you buy a new mic tomorrow. Do you
Hmm.
use it on Twitch? Like, is that your mindset? Like, let me use this on Twitch for a few days. Then, if I like it and feel I talk about it,
Hmm.
I teach about it on YouTube. Or do you learn about it, teach it on YouTube, and then be like, okay, if I fuck with this product enough, I put it into my Twitch.
When it comes to products, the thing about reviews is they are kind of tough to do,
Mm,
because you got to get the good shots to the product. You got to make sure you're talking about all the specs that people care about, and include specs that you might not care about personally. Because sometimes you'll see in my review, I'll just throw up a spec sheet. I'm just like, boom, here's
this
the
it.
ohms and the amperage and because I don't care about none of that. It's just like, how do I sound? Do I sound good? What kind of USB, whatever. Like, sometimes I don't care about what's in the box or whatever. But the thing about product reviews is that I didn't review a product, and I have not reviewed a product that I haven't got for free for the purposes of reviewing the product.
Got you. Okay.
So my first microphone I was using was a Samson Zero One U microphone. And I
Okay.
bought that microphone to record my mixtape back in the day. Like, I bought that mic to rap in. And
Got you.
then once I started streaming again, I was like, oh, I can use this for my streams. And that's what I was using. It still sounds great. But then Elgato reached out, and they were like, oh, here's the Wave 3 microphone. So, all right, I'm gonna review that. Oh, here's the Stream Deck Plus. Here's the Stream Deck pedal. Here's the Elgato key lights. And I still haven't reviewed the key lights yet. The Elgato face cam I got behind me. I still got to review that as well. But yeah, the reviews, just getting the like glamour shots of it, and the
Right.
green screen under my bed. They sent me that. It's just like what I reviewed a headset one time. It's just a lot of stuff, but I've always felt that I've been pretty good on gear. I felt like I've been pretty good on gear for a very long time.
Solid.
And
Solid
if
fact.
you give me new shiny gear to discuss and recommend or don't, I'm down for that. My YouTube stuff was mainly to cultivate people's mindsets when it comes into streaming. As far as what I was talking about earlier, is like, I come to stream not to make money as my sole purpose, but to have discourse. Like,
Right.
and as long as I come in with that mindset, most of the time I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
And also the tutorial stuff. How do you set up OBS? How do you get alerts? How do you get sound commands? And those two have been my main thing. Sometimes I'll have, I guess, like writer's block, a video block or something like that, where I'll
Mhm.
read stuff from Reddit and I'll just respond to whatever those questions are. But typically, it was just two main facets, which was the tutorials and then my opinion pieces. But also, it turns into like interviews as well to get other people's opinions.
Right.
And that also was there to help me network a little bit and give other people's perspectives on things, because I'm not the end all be all.
That's a fact. And then that's actually really cool to hear, because I always wonder that in how, if like you how connected or interconnected like your two sides of content is. So
Hmm.
it's cool to hear that, okay, like one thing is one thing, and this is this, but they
Hmm.
both still give you, they both still contribute to your senses of passion, regardless. Like you get that passion of social discourse, and from the Twitch, and you also get that from the YouTube. But it does seem like you get to have that technological advancement, and like kind of being able to teach people about that, and make that evergreen content for YouTube, and just having those two passions. It's crazy, and like to keep them not so separate, but to be able to make sure they have their own path, and not they're not walking on each other's foots there. That's actually
Absolutely.
pretty good. That's actually
Absolutely.
pretty dope. That's actually incredible. And with that, I'm gonna switch gears one more time.
Hmm.
Atlanta base. Let's talk about that.
Hmm.
Being in Atlanta, which is pretty much the hub of so many things at this point, do you do you feel like that has helped? Because the reason why I'm asking, because I'm gonna get to the question, of course, but the reason why I'm asking, because I see Atlanta scares me, but
Okay.
it inspires me at the same time, because
Hmm.
I feel like people who live in Atlanta, especially people who live in Atlanta who are in any type of creative and entertainment, anything,
Hmm.
whether it's film, music, photography, painting, streaming, YouTube, whatever the case may be, advertising at this point, like whatever the case may be, I feel like y'all see everything first, because it's so
Hmm.
big. Like
Hmm.
like y'all get, it's I feel like y'all have a speed dial to what's about to happen before really pretty much the rest of the country does, because it's
Hmm.
such a hub of culture, and at this point a super fast-paced growing technology scene,
Yeah.
and it's always been a creative scene, always,
Hmm. Hmm.
so with being in Atlanta, like, do you feel that Atlanta plus creative gives you any hindrance, or does it give you like a boost?
It's definitely a boost.
Ooh, okay.
Back in 2009, I moved to Atlanta in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to Atlanta in 2010. Back in 2009 was when I started the YouTube, live streaming stuff as well. And everybody around me was like, "Oh, that's weird. Oh, what you doing? Oh, you make money?" Like that type of thing. Everybody, because it was based off of, for one, the time that I was doing it, because I was very early at it. YouTube had only been around since 2000. I want to say five at the most. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was something
Yeah.
unique. Most people weren't doing it, and also most people weren't doing anything else. Like they might have done, school church work. That's about it. Any like
Facts.
chase, like, and people made music, but it wasn't the music I like to, the type listen to. But and they, deal drugs. That's their extracurricular. Like, I like to, they be hanging out at the car wash and shit, and that's the activity. Like, there's
Right.
no. I always tell people, like, the closest Walmart to me was like 30 minutes. The closest mall, bowling alley, movie
Ooh,
theater, that's an hour. Like,
shit.
nothing to do. So
Hearing in Atlanta
moving,
with nothing to do nowadays
yeah,
sounds like a
yeah,
mystery.
crazy.
Wow.
So when I moved to Atlanta, and I kept doing the creative stuff, and I didn't know many creatives yet, but I did meet one person who I knew from Blog TV. Her name is Wajan. She doesn't create content anymore, but we're still friends. And she was my first friend, like in Atlanta. We used to, like,
Mm.
she used to drive me around. We go to fucking IKEA and like Target and shit or whatever. But it was just like I met that person via like the internet or whatever. And like everybody, like even my friends who don't watch my streams or whatever, they are also creatives. Like they are in the film industry. They are
Right.
doing photography. They are doing music that I actually like. You know what I mean? It's just like everybody. And I remember this. This was back in like 2012, and I was working on my homies. I was an extra, or not even an extra, because I was anyway. My
Yeah,
homie,
I'm with you.
his current name is, what does he go by now? He changes his name all the time. His last Robert Jabri. That's what he goes by now.
Okay.
That's his current rap name, Robert Jabri.
You gotta
He's the
keep
rapper.
that. Keep the name. Trust me.
Keep the
Stop
name.
switching names. I will not
Yeah,
get you
yeah. And you know, my film friends, I met him through, and he was like, what do you do? And I was like, I deliver, I don't know if I delivered pizzas, but I was like, I'm working at Papa John's. And he was like, no, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. And yeah,
Okay,
I never forget that.
okay,
That was
that
10.
caught me.
That's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's over 10 years ago. And it's like, everybody in Atlanta like does. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's just like, oh, I'm a
Because,
YouTuber. Like,
that's why you're here. Like you do
mhm.
something.
You do something.
Right.
So yeah, that always stuck with me. And I'm
Damn.
just super grateful to have community, not only of the people that I met in Atlanta who also do Twitch. Shout out to Kendra, shout out to Sunny, shout out to Majestic, Thick Sparkle Buzz, Zadie.
Hey.
Several of them have moved here after I have, and some of them have moved here because of the little community that we're building up. You got Cello AG, you got President Noir, you got Ash Said Hi. Like you got a lot of people that I didn't even know of who live in Georgia or Atlanta. And again, not only the people who currently live here, but the people who are incentivized to visit here. Because Story Mode Bay, I met her because she came to Atlanta because she got family here. You just said you want to stop through or something. Dagichi Gamer, she stopped through last weekend, got to meet her, and people around her, got to have that more. And I'm much more better of like inorganic network, like you were talking about before. I like to compartmentalize and talk to like small groups of people. Like that's my vibe. We got a Quavy here in Atlanta. Like there's just so many. Yeah. And I didn't know that until TwitchCon.
Yeah.
But you got so many people here that are, they just doing it and they kind of get it. You know what I mean? And that's not something I ever had in South Carolina. It's just me by myself. But I can hit up a phone call and be like, yo, let's do a cooperative stream on the couch type shit, and that's super dope. And that's not something I do often. But
the ability
that's an option that I have.
Do it is a fucking amazing. Damn, that's cool as shit.
And it's just like, all right, let's, we hang out, and my ex used to always have an issue with like, oh, y'all talk about it streaming. And it's just like other people don't really get it. We can't really talk to other people about it. But we know that we get it, so we're able to like discuss that, and that's again cool ass feeling.
That's dope. That's dope as fuck, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely because like it was funny because I know we talked a little bit beforehand, but with me moving, that was one of my I looked at the list. And because of like you and Go Wave and Kendra and Sunny Says and stuff, I was like, oh, that Atlanta looking good, man.
You ain't gonna be by yourself. I'll tell you that.
Facts. But definitely visiting is gonna be a plus. Once I get everything settled, I'm definitely gonna be out and about a lot. But I know we're coming to an end, and I want to do the last two segments. So the first segment of the two is, what are some things you are looking? This is one of the cliche things, but what are some of the things that you're looking forward to in your career? Like, what are some things that you're looking to do? Any projects that you're like, you were holding off, but you like, you know what, man, fuck this shit, I'm doing it. Or something that you've been just prepping up. Now, of course, you ain't got to spill secrets.
Yeah, of course.
Anything that you're looking like, what are people expecting to see from the TheeEricV going forward?
This is a very boring answer. I'm letting you know now. It is, and honestly, it's kind of even though it's not, it's often credit it to Einstein, even though he ain't the one who said it. But it's kind of that insanity thing of where I'm doing the same shit, expecting different results or hoping for different results. I'm going to try and trust the process, but also, trusting the process in the sense of making the best content I can. That's always been my thing. Like, make it as good as I can make it and hope for the best. I'm going to try to do more interviews for my own YouTube channel as well, which is a change up. But also, and I did a pretty good job of this last year, but I might want to do it even better this year. And that is to give myself grace and allow myself to rest. And if I don't feel like doing something at that certain time, and if it's got to wait till next week, it's just got to wait until next week, or just reallocating stuff, and making sure my career is on the up and up, because my career kind of faltered a lot last year because I'm just like focusing on content creation and making sure all of that is great. But I'm just got like my inbox kind of filling up and Slack messages going out, and I'm just like, I gotta finish this thing over here, and then I'll get to you.
Gotta keep the bills.
Exactly. So I gotta make sure, like, that's where my head is at now. Just making sure I'm good on the career end, making sure I'm resting up. Still making the best YouTube videos I can. When it comes to Twitch stuff, innovate wherever possible, but the personality is going to be the personality.
1,000%.
The personality hasn't changed much since, I've grown as a person since 2009, but I'm still goofy. I'm still whatever.
Get these dick jokes.
Yeah, you're still gonna get the dick jokes. So like, like as far as like grand things, the closest I can say is maybe traveling for a few more cons, maybe.
Okay.
Because there's plenty of conventions here as well. DreamCon, MomoCon, DreamHack, MomoCon, DragonCon, all here in Atlanta. And I went to all three last year. So, maybe going to DreamCon might be a thing, because people keep talking about it.
This will be my third one.
Wow. And when is it again? Summer, right?
July 28th to the 30th.
Okay. So yeah, I might make that happen.
I think the next sale is in March.
Okay.
The next ticket drop is in March, like March 20th, 24th. One of those days. It'll be on their Twitter. I know you can look it up, but I think if I'm remember correctly, for sure. And DreamCon's top tier. Like, it's definitely,
that's what they say.
It's definitely up there. Okay, I fucks with that. I fucks with that because to get your thoughts on, like, how did you feel going, because you talked about cons, and before we get to the last segment, and we wrap everything up, how did you feel about going to cons last year, especially TwitchCon being its first year back, 3 cons that you went to down in Georgia? Like, have a favorite con? Did you pick up on things that from each con that you're like, okay, this helps me, this, or honestly, just like turn my brain off, have fun?
That's mostly what it was. MomoCon I enjoyed a lot. That was in May, and I'll definitely make sure to go there again. DragonCon, I was the most disappointed by. It wasn't a bad convention, but it does take place across like 6 different hotels, and you got to walk from hotel to hotel. You got all the the apps, or you got the app on your phone, and it's just like, oh, I want to go to this panel. It's like, oh yes, 0.5 miles away. And it's just and you rolling with a squad that, shout out to Bordy McBoard, by the way. I didn't shout her out earlier, but another one. When your squad is especially like 7 people deep, it's kind of hard to move quickly around and stuff. So DragonCon I wasn't as fond of. DreamHack was the first con that I got invited to as a creator, and I thought that was super cool. So that's why I met President Noir there, so that was super dope. As far as the panels there, Ash said I was on one of the panels there, so I got to see her. I'd already met her at TwitchCon. She's the sweetest of sweethearts, man. Love her to death. But TwitchCon, so many, like, countless people, man. Countless people that I got to meet. Kiwi, Dova are definitely highlights. So many people. And even people that, I just knew from Twitter, like Leela Bobina. Like, I didn't even know she was a streamer, but I'm like, I know your name from Twitter. Like, if she had the mask on, I'm like, no, I know you from Twitter, bro. Like, let's chop it up. So, it was cool talking to like, Twitch ambassadors or whatever. It was cool to talk to companies, like I talked to Microsoft. I still didn't get to talk to my Elgato Connect. That's one of the regrets I had from TwitchCon. I kept trying to meet up with him, never got the opportunity. Got to meet with my charity that I've been doing stuff for, Soft Giving. They had a booth there. So yeah, TwitchCon was definitely the highlight. I'd never been to California.
Booth.
Capcom booth, true. Capcom was lit. Got to catch a peek of Justin Wong. That was super dope. Yeah, TwitchCon is that's a every year thing for me. Until, and I know it was kind of like a PR nightmare a little bit, but it wasn't that. It was much worse for people at home, I feel like, than the people who were actually there. Because on Twitter, it's just like, oh, you would think the building was on fire if you looked at Twitter. But it's just like, you in the building, like chilling. It's lit.
Like we were
chilling. Shout out to Cup of Noodle and Megan Thee Stallion and Zaya J and Chris One. Like, there's so many people that I met at TwitchCon. And yeah, man, that's probably every time for me, man.
That's a fact.
Every time.
Last segment. I call it talk your shit. There's not a lot of times that creators sit back, think about the good shit that came out of them starting this career and walking down this path. So talk your shit down, give everybody, and be as non-humble as you possibly motherfucking can. Talk your shit about all the accomplishments and accolades that this streaming and YouTube halfway has given you.
I'll say the biggest thing is, again, my assurance of self. You know what I mean? To
like that.
The knowledge to know that I am good enough. Ooh, and even though people might, treat you otherwise, it's just like, I know that your outlook on me is, skewed, or maybe we just don't vibe or whatever. I know the conclusion that I'm not going to come to is that, I'm not good enough, because people show me that I am.
Facts.
And of course, if we getting into, we got Capcom creator stuff, we got the YouTube partnership, we got 10,000 subs again. We got top 1% of Twitch, which is we got that the Elgato love. But yeah, man, it's mostly like, again, my chat rarely dies, so that's what I'm super proud of. You know what I mean? It's just like
fucking shit.
People are into it, and that's why I do it. Like, people are into it, because if they weren't, it's only so long that I'm gonna do it until I'm like, all right, fuck this. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But the TikTok is doing all right. But
TikTok's
overall,
algorithm is the dumbest shit.
Overall, it's fine. You know what I mean? My cousin texted me this morning when she found the account. And she was like, nigga, you famous? I've never heard her. I'm 34. I've never seen her use the word nigga. She's never texted me before. And I'm like, well, no, but all right. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say it didn't make me feel good to wake up to that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny.
I help people. I feel good about it. I have, little that I'm guilty about, you know what I mean? Or that I feel negative about when it comes to me. Like, I think I'm a good person. I think I do the things that I do well.
That's talking shit. I like that. That.
That's it.
That chat never dies one day. I was like,
it's real, man. It's real
shit. That's real shit. Yo,
it's real,
man. Eric, TheeEricV, man. Thank you so much, man, for tuning in and being a guest on this episode of Per-Sception. Y'all, go check out TheeEricV. Is that TheeEricV on everything?
On everything except YouTube, where it's streamer school.
Got you. That's perfect. Of course, links will be in the description. All your links will be in the description. TikTok, Twitter, Insta, YouTube, Twitch, all of it. If you have any other ones that you want me to put, just message them and I got you. And with that, I appreciate you. I thank you. And y'all, this has been another episode of Per-Sception. I am RenaMarq, your modern Renaissance content creator, friendly neighborhood content creator. That is Eric V, aka TheeEricV, aka the Stream Teach. Y'all, Show him some love, show him some support, show him some respect, but most importantly, show him some hype. And I'll be seeing you next time. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.